Well, Durud, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to day 135 of Iran Revolution Live with your wonderful and amazing host, Mr. Armin Navabi.
And your wonderful and amazing host, Goldie Kamari.
Thank you so much, Armin. How are you doing today?
Really good, really good.
Yeah.
Today ended up being a really good day. Yesterday because of your advice, so I followed it and it had the best results. And I'm gonna do that now every year. So thank you for that. Also, following your advice, I also went and some shopping. So I don't know if this meets your approval. Is that okay?
I like that.
Okay,
You know
okay.
what? Now I feel like I need to dress up a little bit more and look professional. Wait, let me go grab my more professional looking outfit.
Okay. Guys, I don't feel like myself. Is this okay?
It looks great.
Oh, really? Okay. I got seven. I got seven of exactly these in seven different colors. Goldie looks great regardless what she wears, so I don't know.
All right, there we go.
Oh.
I put on like
wow. Okay.
Guys, we're leveling up. We're looking more professional now. There you go.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, that's fantastic. That looks great.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
So Armin, let's get right into it.
Yes, we have so many President Trump updates, so many of them. Of like the videos, like I have the segments. I know you prefer to do the whole video, but I was wondering if you
I think it might be better just do the segments.
Yeah, because then we don't have to go through so many of the non-Iran related parts. But so I know everybody already saw this, but I think it's good to go over it one more time because this is like this part, because this was like a huge escalation and also a sign that Goldie is always right again. right. So Goldie, I know you already, I mean, everybody here probably already saw this, but do you mind reacting to this again? Because I wanted to see your reaction. President Trump saying, I have just read the response from Iran's so-called representatives. I don't like it. Totally unacceptable. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Goldie, your reaction.
Well, first of all, I like the fact that he's putting representatives in quotation marks because that to me, he's basically indicating that he knows that there is a problem with the so-called leadership within the Islamic regime. It also makes me think that President Trump does not view the Islamic regime as a legitimate representative of Iran in and of itself, right? Because one of the things that King Reza Pahlavi has been saying constantly is that the Islamic regime is illegitimate. It does not actually have the authority to be in control of Iran. And the only reason that they are in power, and this is a fact, the only reason they're in power is through force and through murdering people. So to me, this makes me think that President Trump is on the same page and thinking the same way. And then he continues, I don't like it, totally unacceptable. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So it also lets me know that President Trump is not budging. President Trump has made it very clear that the only deal and the only terms he's interested in is unconditional surrender. And if the Islamic regime does not agree to unconditional surrender, then President Trump will resume the BOOMS.
Yes. Goldie, you're so right. Putting representatives in quotation marks is the best acknowledgement of the Iranian peoples. Like, it shows that President Trump completely sees the Iranian peoples, understands them, and all the concerns regarding like, oh no, he's going to do a deal while they're talking. like in both by saying that this is totally unacceptable and also putting the representatives in quotation really does suggest that he's more aligned with the goal of the Iranian people than a lot of people give him credit for. So that is completely, I mean, Goldie, you have already been telling us this for a while now, but sometimes, there's skepticism, but then there's more evidence that you were right. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That is.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, the way that I see this, when this conflict began on February 28th,
Mhm.
or as we like to call it, this humanitarian intervention or this liberation operation, when this began, the whole thing basically kicked off with the United States and Israel completely destroying several huge bases. They also bombed the Beit Rahbari. They bombed Khamenei's compound. I mean, the entire thing kicked off with the United States and Israel basically exterminating Khamenei, the supreme dictator. There's no going back. Like, does anyone actually think that the Islamic regime, or whatever is left of the Islamic regime, is going to now be like, oh yeah, you know what? Let's come, let's come up with some sort of peace treaty or something. Absolutely not. President Trump knew exactly what he was doing. There is no going back. There is no going back.
Goldie, that's actually another very interesting point that you make, because President Trump already within his first term had the experience that because he killed Qasem Soleimani, the Islamic Republic refused to basically it tied the hands of the Islamic Republic to be able to negotiate with him. So he already knew about that. Killing Qasem Soleimani means that the Islamic Republic wouldn't even be able to negotiate with them, even if they wanted to. So
Mhm.
based on that experience, what did he think would happen when he kills Ali Khamenei? Then he ties their hands even more. It makes it even more impossible for the regime officials to come and bend the knee to him, which means the only outcome is aggressive kinetic attacks on the Islamic Republic targets, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. So let's. By the way, to confirm what you just said, Goldie, regarding what this representatism quotations suggests, let's go now to President Trump saying exactly that after he made that post, which is a confirmation that you were correct. Yeah.
The level of ferocity for protests, the people are watching it. They want to go out on the streets. They have no weapons. They have no guns. We thought the Kurds were going to give us weapons, but the Kurds disappointed us. The Kurds take. They have a great reputation in Congress. Congress says, oh, they fight so hard. No, they fight hard when they get paid. So I'm very disappointed in the Kurds, but they were given. I said it wasn't going to work, by the way. I just have to say it. I disagreed with what they did. They gave it. I said, they'll never get there. And I was right. I like to be right. In this case, too bad. But we sent some guns with ammunition, and they were supposed to be delivered, but they kept it. I said they're going to keep it, but what do I know? I've only been doing this a short period of time. What do I know? Go ahead.
Wow, Goldie, that's a wow. So, for a third time, he's confirming that he was trying to arm the Iranian people, and the Iranian people need weapons. And all of his talks regarding arming the Iranian people is now repeating over and over and over again. Mark Levin, President Trump, Lindsey Graham, we're seeing it becoming a major, major topic, which is great. And President Trump also again confirming that they already tried to do that. What do you think? Do you think that that means that the Iranian people are being armed or have been armed, or that this is going to continue to be the strategy? What's your entire interpretation from this clip here?
I have a feeling that not only are the Iranian people being armed, I have a feeling they're also being trained. I have a feeling that maybe the reason that we're seeing a little bit of a delay is that it's not just about arming them, it's about basic training. And the reason that I say this is because I was watching or I was looking at President Trump's Truth Social account yesterday, and he posted 3 video clips from Mark Levin, Mark Levin's show on Fox News. From this would have been Saturday night. I still haven't seen his Sunday night show, which I do want to watch later, probably in the evening. But let me share the link with you, because this. Let me just put it in. I don't know if you've seen this, but when let me put it this way. I just want to repeat this before we watch this, because this isn't just about what Mark Levin is saying on Fox News. This is about the fact that President Trump is sharing what Mark Levin is saying on Fox News, right? If it was just Mark Levin saying it on Fox News, I would be like, okay, this is wow. Like, I mean, Mark Levin is very close to President Trump. However, President Trump sharing what Mark Levin is saying on Fox News, that to me is basically President Trump confirming and agreeing with what Mark Levin is saying. Because politicians don't just randomly post links to news articles or video clips unless they agree with it. So that's what's really significant about this clip.
Right.
Have you seen this one?
No, actually.
Okay.
So thank you for sharing that. Let's actually, thank you for sharing. Let's watch this. Let me actually make it full screen.
We don't have to create opposition. There is opposition.
Oh, yeah.
We need to seize the opportunity.
Can you pause for a
We
second?
need to seize.
So the part where he says we don't have to create opposition, there is opposition. This is also very significant, Armin, because if you recall, just a few days ago, Mark Levin actually quote tweeted King Reza Pahlavi.
Yes.
So Mark Levin saying that we don't need to create opposition, there is opposition. And the fact that he's saying this only a few days after he retweeted King Reza Pahlavi, right? Like, if we connect the dots here, he's basically saying that we have, there is legitimate opposition, and that opposition is His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince of Iran.
That's actually a very good point. Yes. So So he acknowledges Princess of Pahlavi as the leader of the opposition, and now he also separately here saying that we already have the opposition. So and Goldie, like, even if we had no evidence, it would be obvious that if you want to coordinate with the Iranian people and empower them against the Islamic Republic, obviously the best bridge towards that goal is Prince Reza Pahlavi. Like, obviously the people who came out and bled for and risked their lives for one name and only one name after the call to action by only one person. If you want to help mobilize, I mean, the mobilization has already happened, but if you want to empower the mobilization against the Islamic Republic, then the only way to do that is to talk to their leader and coordinate with their leader. So it makes no sense for them to do anything but that, right? So I'm pretty sure there's some level of coordination happening between the Americans or Israelis and Prince Reza Pahlavi, because it wouldn't make sense not to do that. And these people are intelligent people, so yeah.
The opportunity. And by that I mean that our CIA, along with the Israeli Mossad, make determinations about the best way to determine who to train and arm, while at the same time we continue the economic stranglehold, and our military, along with our allies, the Israelis, provide coordinated support with targeted and supportive attacks on the IRGC and the Basij paramilitary police. That's,
Pause for a
in
second.
my view.
So again, this is what makes me think the reason that there's a little bit of a delay is because the Eternal Guard, the Garda Javidan, are being trained. Because even Mark Levin, in his message, he literally just said the CIA and Mossad are determining who to train and arm, and President Trump is sharing this message on his Truth Social, which means President Trump agrees with this. So this is why, as of last night, I now believe that the reason there's this delay is because the Garda Javidan is being trained and armed. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm getting from this.
I actually do think that the reason why the attacks on the checkpoints and IRGC bases were stopped is exactly because of that, because they thought the timing for that needs to happen at the same time that the Garda Javidan is trained and armed, vetted, trained and armed. And the vetting process could only happen with the help of the Iranian people. And that would be a really good role for Princess of Pahlavi's team. So I wouldn't be surprised if the vetting process of who to train and who to arm, because you have to be careful not to arm regime forces who are pretending to be the opposition. And better than anyone else, the people who could actually figure that out are the Iranian people themselves. So I wouldn't be surprised if the vetting process before, so there's a 3-step process, right? Vetting, training, and then arming. So I wouldn't be surprised if the vetting process is done with the help of Princess of Pahlavi's team. If that comes out that was happening, it wouldn't be surprising. Also, guys, when it comes to arming the Iranian people, one thing we have to keep in mind is that it wouldn't be surprising if they were also being armed with drones. So we already have 2 examples as precedent for arming the local population with drones and training them on how to use drones. So we're not talking just guns, we're talking drones as well. One was when the Ukrainians armed and trained the opposition to Assad in Syria with drone technology. And the other one is Mossad agents, Iranian Mossad agents inside Iran have already been operating drones against Islamic Republic missile launchers right at the 12-day war. And those are Iranian. So guys, remember, whenever we say Mossad agents in Iran, we're talking about Iranians, not Israelis. And we already have precedent for them using drone technology against missile launchers, for example. So that could be repeated against checkpoints, IRGC bases, IRGC security personnel who are trying to suppress the Iranian people. So we could have 2 things happening at the same time. We could have arming the Iranian people with drones and guns, but also have Israeli drones at the time of the uprisings, providing support from the air to the Iranian people as well.
How you do it? Well, Mark, you never served in the military. I know history. I know history. Nobody alive ever served in the Civil War either. Nobody alive ever served in the Revolutionary War either. That's not the point. You do leave it to the experts to figure this out. But the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, he makes the decisions. And I look at history. I look at success. Success in destroying the Soviet Union. Success in pushing communism out of Central and South America. And we did this. Success in pushing communism out of parts of Africa. Success in pushing the Russians, the Soviets, out of Afghanistan. We didn't send in troops. We armed the freedom fighters, the Mujahideen in Afghanistan and others throughout the world.
So, guys, some people might be thinking, like, what the hell? Like, the Mujahideen was supporting the Mujahideen against the Soviet Union. Why are we comparing the Iranian people being trained and armed to that? Because supporting the Mujahideen is what led to the rise of the Taliban, right? However, the point that Mark Levin is not making here is not whether those people were good or bad, or whether or not that was justified or not justified. We could have different agreements, different views, and we could agree or disagree about that. The point is that it worked. All right. So maybe like at that point, so obviously the Iranian people are not like the Mujahideen in Afghanistan. All right. Supporting the Mujahideen in Afghanistan in the short term worked. In the long term, it backfired, created the Taliban, and became a safe haven for ISIS. But at the end of the day, it worked against the Soviets. It worked against them. It worked. It was an effective tactic. And the reason why, so the fact that it works as a tactic is the main point here. And obviously the backfiring part is not going to happen with the Iranian people, because the Iranian people are not Islamic durka jihadi minded. So the working part would be the same, but the backfiring part will not be the same, because the Iranian people are secular, democratic minded, and they're not Islamic minded.
Why would we take this off the table? If the Kurds stole weapons, and the Kurds have been great allies of ours everywhere around the Middle East, they are patriotic, they are pro-American. There are other ways to do this.
Where?
The question.
So just to be clear, the separatist Kurdish people are not patriotic, but yes, the vast majority of Iranian Kurds are patriotic. The separatists cannot be patriotic because they are fighting against the nation states that they're in, and there is no nation state of Kurdistan. So they are basically anti-patriotic. But the vast majority of Kurdish Iranians are extremely patriotic, and they're against the Kurdish separatist movements. So yes, somebody saying Kurds are patriotic to what exactly? To Iran. Iranian Kurds are patriotic to Iran. But I don't. If you're talking about the separatists, then on this point, I disagree with him.
Question is whether our CIA is up to the task. I hope it is. I don't know anything about the bureaucracy over there. I remember William Casey, the director of the CIA under Reagan. That man was fearless. It's something to think about quite seriously. This is how we've dealt with it in the past. Obviously, Iran's not Afghanistan. It's not Angola. It's not Nicaragua and so forth. But as I see it, as we have all seen, the Iranian people have been more than willing than any other people to die for their liberation. They want liberation, and I bet they want retribution against this regime for slaughtering tens of thousands of their family members and raping and torturing their young women, their daughters, their sisters, their wives, and their mothers by the tens of thousands. They just need an opportunity. They can't do it with their bare hands. But the point is this. The only certain way to ensure that the Iranian regime can never and will never spread its revolution here in the Middle East, in Europe, or anywhere else, and all that evil and horror that goes with it, involves its elimination. No matter what President Trump does, he will be attacked by the Democrats, the media, the isolationists for his heroic actions against the Iranian regime. So I would ignore the Democrats and the media and the isolationists. They want failure. They will define success for them as our failure as a nation, because they are driven by a deranged mentality about politics and exploitation for power. They are fundamentally power hungry. We've come so far. We've made such incredible progress. Victory is in sight, in my view. There's a gentleman by the name of Efren Fard. He's an expert in counterterrorism on Iran and Middle East, based in Washington, and he writes the following in the Jerusalem Post. Moments in which internal crisis and external pressure converge at this level, he's talking about Iran, are rare, and history suggests they don't remain open indefinitely. Previous opportunities for fundamental change were constrained by hesitation, particularly at the level of international coordination, and those constraints carry consequences. The current moment presents a similar test, but with higher stakes and less margin for delay. If the regime survives, he writes, the ideology that defines the system will remain intact, along with its patterns of behavior, as a threat that cannot be managed indefinitely. Systems defined by this level of ideological rigidity and expansionism do not evolve into moderation. They persist until they are forced to change or cease to exist.
Wow, that's perfectly said. Good job, Irfan Fard.
The removal of this structure would not only address an immediate security challenge, but would also open the possibility for a different relationship between Iran and the region, one that aligns with the emerging framework established by the Abraham Accords.
Soon to be renamed as the Cyrus Accords when Iran joins.
Now, to be clear, I don't have access to all the information the president has or the military and intelligence experts, but I know what I know. And I know the president of the United States, President Trump, always has the best interests of the American people at front of mind. And that will be his guiding motivation. And frankly, I could not be prouder of our president, his team, and our military. I could not be prouder of all of them. My unsolicited advice, just as a commentator, somebody who studies history, stay the course. Stay the course. But thank you to all those who've brought us to this point, where frankly nobody thought we would ever be, thanks to our president, our military, and the people around him.
So given that President Trump hosted this, it really suggests that Goldie is right as usual, and the arming of the Iranian people has always remained the focus since the beginning, since President Trump came out and said that help is on the way to the Iranian people. The plan has always been to arm the Iranian people, and they have never abandoned that plan. It's interesting to see what was the new abandoning the separatist groups being the way that they arm Iranian people. I wonder if from the new strategy of arming the Iranian people is from southern Iran, because that would make a lot of sense to me if that was the case. But we'll see. All of this will eventually come out. Let's go to the next video. Goldie, do you have the right microphone connected? Yes, right?
I think so. Is my audio not working well?
No, the audio is good. There's just a lot of tapato.
Sorry, I will mute myself.
Oh no, that's okay. I was just wondering.
No, I think it's my mouse. I got a new mouse, but it's really loud. I need to get like a different mouse that isn't as loud when I click.
No, it's okay. All right. So we have another video, another segment. Guys, we get so many juicy segments. Look at this one.
For the time being, the ceasefire remains in place.
It's unbelievably weak. I would say I would call it the weakest right now. After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said I'm not going to waste my time reading it. I would say it's one of the weakest right now. It's on life support. They understand these are all medical people. Dr. Oz, life support is not a good thing. Do you agree?
Bad prognostic.
I would say the ceasefire is on massive life support, where the doctor walks in and says, sir, your loved one has approximately a 1% chance of living.
For the time being, the ceasefire remains in place.
Wow, guys, he called it the piece of garbage and the weakest that it has ever been. Not even worth the time to finish reading it. Guys, remember when you were panicking, saying like, oh, President Trump is saying, I'm very, very confident that I'm going to get a deal. I'm sure they're going to give us a deal. They really want to give us a deal, and they're going to give us everything that we want. They're going to agree to it. They're going to agree to it. They really want. Now, look at this. See? Goldie was telling you that nope, President Trump was absolute surrender, and they're not going to do absolute surrender. So we're going to go back to potentially very soon. I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? We're going to go back to military operations. I mean, we're already doing military operations, but yeah, more of that. Guys, here's a very easy way to dissect all of this and basically understand why we think that conflict, like major conflict, between the Islamic Republic and United States will continue until the Islamic Republic falls, right? Even, I mean, with the Israel is what that goes without saying, but the United States, here's the thing, okay? I'll simplify it and let me know if you guys agree with this or not. Let me know in the chat, okay? We know that United States cannot tolerate the Islamic Republic with the ability to enrich uranium. it's just something that cannot be accepted, right? It just can't. We know that they need that enriched uranium out. We know that the Islamic Republic should not, the United States cannot continue accepting or tolerating a nuclear capable Islamic Republic. So that's a given. One way or another, that has to go away, right? So far, so good. So far, so good. That's what we know. Also, for a fact, that it's close to impossible for the Islamic Republic to come out and say, like, fine, here's the enriched uranium, fine, come, we will never enrich uranium ever again. Okay, so far, okay, so Torah in the chat is saying, yes, so far, so good. What about this part? Do you guys agree with this part? So the second part, do you guys agree with? Also, so the United States cannot tolerate a nuclear capable Islamic Republic. Islamic Republic cannot, because it has tied its own hands. It cannot come out and just say, like, fine, I'll give up. That would be the end of it. That would be the end. That would not be the Islam. If the Islamic Republic ever does that, it's not the Islamic Republic anymore. So basically, we have two positions that cannot be changed, and there is no room for them to meet each other halfway. It's just so far apart. So this means that one way or another, the Islamic Republic must go. I don't know how long it takes, but one way or another, the Islamic Republic must go, given that none of these two positions can change. Right? So you agree? Everybody in the chat, you're with me? Agree with me? All right. So we know if the Islamic Republic has to go, we know that no amount of air bombardment or strikes against the Islamic Republic assets or assassinations or whatever is going to topple the Islamic Republic. You need boots on the ground, and Israelis are not going to have boots on the ground as much as it's needed to topple the regime, and neither are the Americans. We're not going to have a ground invasion of the Islamic Republic to topple the regime by Israelis or the Americans, right? So the boots on, if we need regime change in Iran, we need boots on the ground. The boots on the ground are the Iranian people, right? So we are going to have regime change one way or another, and the only way to do regime change is with the Iranian people. We also know that. We also know that the Iranian people are unarmed, and we did a calculation yesterday. It only takes $1.5 billion a year by the Islamic Republic to be able to arm enough people to continue suppressing the Iranian people if they are unarmed. So even if you completely economically bankrupt the Islamic Republic with blockades and everything, the Islamic Republic will cut all of its civil services and subsidies and teachers and nurses. I'm paying this, I'm paying that, I'm paying everything. Okay, they will stop paying everything. The last thing they will cut is the armed forces. And as long as they have, let's say, $2 billion a year, they're in somewhere to pay the armed forces. That's enough. That's enough money to get something between 100,000 to 300,000 armed forces to suppress the Iranian people. If they're armed, even if the Iranian people come out in millions, they have enough people who are armed to suppress the Iranian people. The only way to change that calculation is to arm the Iranian people, okay? Because even with complete blockade and bankruptcy of the Islamic Republic will be able to find a way to sell enough oil through other means at much lower capacity, but enough to make at least $2 billion a year to pay the armed forces to suppress the Iranian people. The only way you could change that calculation where that number is not good enough, where 300,000 armed forces are not good enough to suppress the Iranian people, is to arm the Iranian people. So given that the situation that we're in has only one solution, which is toppling the Islamic Republic, regime change, right? Basically toppling the Islamic Republic. And given that the blockade and the economic bankruptcy of the Islamic Republic is not enough to stop them from being able to suppress the Iranian people, the only remaining solution here, in my opinion, is to arm the Iranian people. And if you do that, the calculation completely flips. then the amount of forces the Islamic Republic needs to suppress the Iranian people will become astronomically higher and something that they would not be able to afford. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that calculation? Yeah, so yeah, it will become Cuba, but it will not. But the only difference between the main difference between what the situation in Iran and Cuba is that the Islamic Republic is so much more evil. So the Islamic Republic is able and willing to do things that no current regime has done. Like the massacre that the Islamic Republic has done is so when you are able and willing to do that level of massacre, then it's cheaper to stay in power. If you are trying to avoid killing people as at that higher level that the Islamic Republic did in early January, then suppressing the Iranian people would be a lot more expensive. But if your standards are so low and you have no limitation and you're capable and willing to just shoot with machine guns into crowds of Iranian people, then the cost of suppressing the Iranian people will become a lot lower. And that's the difference between what the situation in Iran and Cuba. And that's why we need to arm the Iranian people, and the blockade is not enough. You guys agree? All right. The blockade is necessary, though. Don't get me wrong. So let's go to the next video. Agree? Okay, fantastic. So this one. Oh, this is a real, guys. We have new garbage analysis by commentators saying that, oh, President Trump is getting tired. He's getting tired. And here's a response. He's getting bored. He wants to move away. We got a new response to that claim here.
Yeah, it was just unacceptable. You know, a lot of people said, well, does he have a plan? Yeah, of course they do have the best plan ever. I mean, Iran has been defeated militarily, totally. They have a little left. They probably built up during this period of time. We'll knock that out in about a day. But I have a plan. You know, it's a very simple plan. I don't know why you don't say it like it is. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They're very dangerous. They're very volatile. It's a terrible thing that's happened over there. They've killed 42,000 people in the last 2 months. 42,000. At least that's what we know of. 42,000 people. They killed numerous people over the last week, but they killed 42,000 people a month and a half ago. They were unarmed protesters, not at all violent protesters. And they started taking them out, shooting them. So we're not going to let them. That's the plan. You know, people say, what's the plan? The plan is very simple. The blockade, first of all, was a part of military genius, just like Venezuela was military genius. We have the greatest military in the world by far. And we're stocked up with great ammunition. We have much better stuff than we did 2 months ago when we first did the attack, which knocked them for a loop. But very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Can't have it. And if they did have it, the Middle East would be gone, Israel would be gone, and then hit Europe probably next. We're doing a service to the world. And this has gone on for 47 years. Other presidents and leaders of other countries that have the power should have done it, but they didn't do it. But it's a very simple plan. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, and they didn't want to go that far. If you can believe it, they didn't. How stupid. Are they stupid people? They didn't want to believe it. They think that, well, I'll get tired of this, or I'll get bored, or I'll have some pressure, but there's no pressure.
This is the part. This is the main highlight. Listen to this.
And they didn't want to go that far. If you can believe it, they didn't. How stupid. Are they stupid people? They didn't want to believe it. They think that, well, I'll get tired of this, or I'll get bored, or I'll have some pressure, but there's no pressure. There's no pressure at all. We're going to have a complete victory. We've already, in theory, had a complete victory from the military standpoint. The military, look, their Navy is dead. They had 159 ships. Right now they have 0, other than the little speedboats that go around that got taken out 8 a day by us. They have no air force.
Oh, one thing, guys, regarding the speedboat, I heard an analysis that suggests that the Islamic Republic speedboat, deploying speedboat capacity has been reduced, because they used to notice that every time they send speedboats, they will send out, I don't know, 20 or 30, like sometimes up to 40 or 50 at the same time. But now when they're coming out, they're coming in like number 6 or 8. So some people are like wondering, oh, why are the numbers so low compared to before? I don't know why the numbers are lower. One theory might be that after President Trump gave the go-ahead to also take out the speedboats, what that did is that it made many people afraid to come out with speedboats again. So the people who assumed that this was less dangerous are not, basically they're defecting, and maybe they imagine, for example, you go on one of these missions, and then I don't know, there's like 20 or 30 of you, and then the Americans attack, and you see like, oh my God, so many of the speedboats around me were just, just exploded right next to me. My friends and my childhood friends and stuff, like you can see their bodies floating on the sea or whatever. Like, okay, I'm not doing that again. So you used to do these operations thinking that it's kind of safe, but now if you saw how dangerous it was, maybe a lot of them would just go home and like, yep, I'm not getting paid enough for this, I'm not going to go.
Of course, they have no anti-aircraft. Now, they probably put the shoulder jobs into service over the last 3 weeks, probably. But essentially, they have no anti-aircraft, they have no radar. And frankly, their leaders have been killed at the first level, second level, and half at the third level. And then they come back and they want to negotiate, and they give us it's a stupid proposal. And nobody would take it, although Obama would have taken it, Biden would have taken it. What they took was far worse.
Okay, guys, this is a very good reminder that we are not going to have a sunset clause, right? So when he keeps reminding us about Obama, remember, what were the main problems with the Obama deal, with the JCPOA? What were the main problems? The number one main problem was the sunset clause. Another problem was that it didn't have the observers were limited to certain locations, right? But the main problem was the sunset clause. Like, that's what President Trump kept on attacking, right? So if the United States does a deal with the Islamic Republic that has a sunset clause, meaning that there is a time limit for when the Islamic Republic has to stop enriching uranium, and it can continue enriching uranium after, it would be impossible for President Trump to sell that as a win, given that his main problem with the JCPOA, with the Obama deal, was always the sunset clause, right? So it's very hard to imagine President Trump agreeing, like people, like they were saying 20 years, 15 years, the Islamic Republic was saying 5 years at some point. There shouldn't be any years. There should be, you should force them to agree, which would be a surrender if they do that, by the way, to a deal that has no time limits. And the reason why that would be the fall of the Islamic Republic, because the Islamic Republic will have zero legitimacy if they agree to such a thing, and they won't.
So we stopped him twice. We stopped him when I terminated the worst deal probably ever made in the history of our country in terms of defense. That was the Iran nuclear deal penned by Barack Hussein Obama. That would have given Iran a nuclear weapon within a year. They would have had it years ago. I terminated that in my first term. And then when that beautiful plane right there hit them hard, we really hit them hard. And they told me, I want to just tell you this, because they like to say, oh, well, maybe it wasn't that hard a hit. Iran told me very strongly, because they intend to give us the nuclear dust, as I call it. It's easier than talking about other terms, because it's a term everyone knows. But the nuclear dust, which is what we hit, they told me, number one, you're getting it, but you're going to have to take it out, because the site was so obliterated that there's only 1 or 2 countries in the world that could get it. It's so deep and got hit so hard that there's no way they have the equipment to move it. You and China are the only 2 countries in the world that could take it out. So we talked about it, and they said, you'll have to take it out because we don't have the capability of doing it.
Okay, so guys, you have to take it out. Listen to this part again. This means, to me, this means that there is no way other than regime change to get this done. So they're not going to tolerate the enriched uranium staying there.
Twice. We stopped them when I terminated the worst deal probably ever made in the history of our country in terms of defense. That was the Iran nuclear deal penned by Barack Hussein Obama. That would have given Iran a nuclear weapon within a year. They would have had it years ago. I terminated that in my first term. And then when that beautiful plane right there hit them hard, we really hit them hard. And they told me, I want to just tell you this because they like to say, oh, well, maybe it wasn't that hard a hit. Iran told me very strongly, because they intend to give us the nuclear dust, as I call it. It's easier than talking about other terms because it's a term everyone knows. But the nuclear dust, which is what we hit, they told me, number one, you're getting it, but you're going to have to take it out because the site was so obliterated that there's only 1 or 2 countries in the world that could get it. It's so deep and got hit so hard that there's no way they have the equipment to move it. You and China are the only 2 countries in the world that could take it out.
Well, guys, that's a big deal. The Islamic Republic has told President Trump that even if we wanted to give you the nuclear dust, we couldn't because it's so deep underground and it's so much under the rubble because of the bombardment that President Trump did on the Operation Midnight Hammer that we can't actually get it out. So if you want it, you have to come get it. So you have to just come get it yourself. And yeah, so one way or another, the Americans have to go to Iran to get the nuclear dust out there, one way or another. And to me, it seems very, very difficult and risky to American soldiers to try to go get the enriched uranium while still at war with the Islamic Republic. Like this is what something I've been saying for a long time. It's not ideal. I mean, if they're forced to, that's what they're going to be doing. But because, as I've been mentioning to you guys before, the number of engineers that are capable of doing such a thing are very limited, right? So going out and taking the nuclear dust out is not just a complicated military operation. As I mentioned to you, it's also a very complicated engineering operation that would take multiple days to take it out. And it has never been done before. It has never done before under such hostile, in such hostile environment, this hostile environment. So it would put the American soldiers and engineers in severe risk, especially because they have to be, yeah, exactly. Sketch is saying lots of radiation. Like this is a very sensitive and delicate thing to do. To try to do that in a very hostile environment is very, very risky. And guys, whenever Americans do military operations in a hostile environment, they try to do it overnight because the darkness gives them cover, because they can see in the dark in a way that the enemy can't. So they try to do it in the darkness before it gets to daytime. But this military operation, because it's going to be multiple days, they have to go through several periods of daylight, which puts them at a lot of risk. So there's 3 options when it comes to getting the enriched uranium out. Either you go in a very aggressive mode while the Islamic Republic is still at war with you and you take it out that way. So that's option number 1. And guys, let me know in the chat which option you think we're going with. Which option we're going with. Like option number 1, taking the enriched uranium out under the hostile environment while the Islamic Republic is attacking. 2, the Islamic Republic surrenders, bends the knee, cooperates, and allows the Americans to come in to get the enriched uranium out. Right? Okay, so yeah, that's number 2. Number 3, regime change, and then cooperate with the new Iranians. the Iranians in charge, the princes of Pahlavi, the transitional government. That's number 3. Okay. I would argue that number 2 is very unlikely. And yep, we see the chat is full of 3s. Okay, yes, there you go. 3, 3, 3, 3. Number 2 is also very unlikely. That remains that, yeah, so you all agree. Number 3. And guys, because because number 1 and number 2 are very unlikely, that means that we need regime change. To get what President Trump wants, we need regime change. Number 1 and number 2 are very unlikely. Not impossible, but very unlikely. Nothing is impossible, right? But very unlikely. So a lot of people argue that, the Israelis are for regime change, just like the Iranian people, but the Americans are not necessarily for regime change. They just want to make sure that the Islamic Republic doesn't get nuclear. Even if that is the case, the only way to get there is with regime change, exactly because of we exhausted all the possibilities. If we haven't exhausted all the possibilities, let us know in the chat. Even if it's true that Israelis want regime change, but the Americans only want the nuclear dust and the Islamic Republic not enriching uranium again, in effect, it would lead to the same thing. Oh, somebody is voting for option number 4, send Goldie. Okay, yep, I didn't consider that. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah, I think, send Goldie. Send Goldie, yes. We will get it out of there.
That's a last resort. That's like a last resort option to send Goldie.
We will have it. We will have it by lunchtime, guys. We wouldn't even take a day. Okay. I didn't consider that option. Sorry, guys. Before we go to the next video, let me actually really quickly go over the super chats that we got so far. Amir thank you, Amir. 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Kansas Warcraft player. Oh, World of Warcraft player. Wow. Okay. Saying Hoarder Alliance, by the way. So saying, hey, what if part of that rescue mission was arms shipments? You love you all. Thanks for everything. I've heard those theories. It's hard to do that without getting, anything is possible. Anything is possible. You cannot, it's an unfalsifiable claim. So I find it not very likely, but can't be proven false. So it might be. Martin is saying His Royal Highness Pahlavi Iranians, Armin Goldie. Oh wow, thank you so much. Thank you, bless you. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I feel weird to be put in the same list as such giants as Princess of Pahlavi and Goldie, but okay, but thank you for putting me there though. All right. And Wyatt, thank you so much for the super chat saying disclaimer for entertainment only. The best book on arming the unarmed is are you gonna say something that is not YouTube friendly? I don't know these books. I don't know if that book is like reading the name of that book, because I'm trying to. I don't know that book, so I'm not going to. Guys, just read it on screen because I'm worried if I'm going to be saying something that YouTube doesn't like. All 7 volumes are free online. Lots of photos and drawing, easy to follow, but in English. Okay, I'm not going to read the name of the book because YouTube is sensitive about any instructions on stuff like that. Okay? We need to be careful. Remember, YouTube is sensitive when it comes to telling people stuff like that. By the way, YouTube, we do not endorse violence. We do not endorse, anything to do with anything that violates you. How about this? Anything that violates your community guidelines, we don't endorse that, whatever they are. Okay, so just covered everything. Guys, I think I just covered ourselves legally completely. I don't know. Forever, okay? This is forever, okay? In the past, now, and in the future, whatever violates your community guidelines, we're against it. Okay, so just refer back to this live stream if you're in doubt. YouTube, thank you for listening. All right, let's go to the videos. Checkmate YouTube, exactly, guys. I just checkmated YouTube. It's a joke, YouTube. It's a joke. If it's a joke, don't strike us down. Okay. As an atheist, the only God I believe in is the YouTube gods. All right, so what is this? Ooh, guys, remember how so many of you were you know, so many people were like, oh no, why President Trump is saying that these are great people, they're very reasonable, they're amazing, the new leadership is better than the last leadership. Watch this.
Look, I've had to deal with them 4 or 5 times. They change their mind. They're very dishonorable people.
They're very, there you go, guys. Now we're getting, remember Goldie said to you, there's just don't be upset. Just wait. Now that we're getting closer, President Trump is saying they're very dishonorable people. See. Let's listen to this again.
Look, I've had to deal with them 4 or 5 times. They change their mind. They're very dishonorable people. The leadership. Don't forget it's the 3rd level. The 1st level is gone. They were unreasonable. The 2nd level was more reasonable. The 3rd level, nobody wants to be president, you know? They say, who wants to be president? There's nobody raises their hand. You know? But we're...
I think he means like supreme leader, but it's okay.
They change their mind.
Or I mean, I don't know, like the head of IRGC or maybe the president of the Supreme National Security Council. Maybe that.
But we're... They change their mind. I've had that in business many times. You know, the mind changes, you call them. These people that you make a deal and then the next day they send you a document that takes 5 days to get there when it should have been there in 20 minutes. You know, it's a pretty simple document. They will never have a nuclear weapon, yeah? Look.
Okay, that's good. That's, you know, so guys, remember, he said they're more reasonable, but they're dishonorable. So see, guys, being more reasonable is not a compliment. You could be a villain that is somewhat more reasonable, but you're still a villain. Like, being more reasonable is not a compliment because reasonable doesn't mean good. Reasonable might mean that you're smarter with your evil ways, but you're still dishonorable. So these are not mutually exclusive, to be dishonorable but somewhat more reasonable. And to be honest, like some of them are more reasonable, which means that they're just more pragmatic at being evil, but still evil. Yeah, exactly. Like Thor saying Thanos was reasonable. Yeah, exactly. Which makes you more like, it actually makes you worse. You know, if you're evil, being more reasonable is not a good thing. It actually makes you worse. You're rather evil to be retarded. Okay, evil retarded is easier to, like, retarded evil is easier to deal with than somewhat more reasonable evil. Oh, let me see if this is a different video or did we cover this one?
It was just unacceptable. You know, a lot of people said, well, does he have a plan? Yeah, of course I do have the best plan ever. I mean, Iran
I think we did this.
Defeated militarily, totally. They have a little left. They probably built up during this period of time. We'll knock that out in about a day. But I have a plan. You know, it is a very simple plan. I don't know why you don't say it like it is. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They're very dangerous. They're very volatile. It's a terrible thing that's happened over there. They've killed 42,000 people in the last 2 months. 42,000. At least
42,000 in 10 hours, to be more precise.
At least that's what we know of. 42,000 people. They killed
at least 42,000.
Because he says that's what we know of. The number is much higher. The number is much higher, and that's the reason why the internet is shut down.
Yes. So guys, some people say in 2 days, but remember, it was 5 hours on a Thursday and 5 hours on a Friday. So it's 10 hours. 10 hours. So just so that like, let's say for let's just say it was only 42,000, which it wasn't. All right. The numbers that Hamas gives us regarding the number of people who died in Gaza after October 7th is 60,000, 65,000 in about 2 years, right? A little bit under 2 years. Did I get that right? So think about, let's just believe their number, just so that you understand. And that's what the whole world was calling genocide and the greatest human rights violation, in modern history. 60,000 in a bit under 2 years. So now compare that to at least 42,000 in 10 hours for you to understand the scale of what the Islamic Republic has done. Even if we just accept the 42,000 number, which is the minimum, even if we accept the 65,000, which is the Hamas number, but even if we accept that, just compare these numbers with each other and understand the scale of the crime that the Islamic Republic just committed. By the way, we have a Hamas supporter in the chat, I think. This guy is saying 65,000 deaths in 2 years is genocide, but 45,000 in 2 days is Mossad propaganda. Is this guy for reals? No, is he joking? I think he's joking. Is he pretending to be? Goldie, is this like a regime supporter, or is
No,
it like
I think he's being sarcastic.
sarcastic? Okay, he's being sarcastic. Okay, no Armin is Amusina. Okay, so he's being sarcastic. Okay. Amusina, put an S in the, like, Amusina, put an S at the end of your sarcasm so that we don't misunderstand. I mean, maybe everybody understood it, so never mind. You don't need to do anything. Amu is good. Okay. Just checking. That's why, like, if I didn't think he was being sarcasm, I would have gone like full rage mode. Okay, there we go. Here, he's saying S, Armin June, S. Okay, yes. Thank you. All right. Thank you for the S. Let me see. Wait, did we finish this one?
In the last 2 months, 42,000. At least that's what we know of. 42,000 people. They killed numerous people over the last week, but they killed 42,000 people a month and a half ago. They were unarmed protesters, not at all violent protesters. And they started taking them out, shooting them. So we're not going to let them. That's the plan. It was just unacceptable.
Yes. Okay, that was good. Amusina, I like that name. All right, look at this. Oh, no, before we go to this, I have something that I cannot play. Okay, because it's 60 minutes. Don't worry, I'm not going to play it. Don't worry. I'm just going to read the caption. Okay. But you guys should go. No, not that one. You guys should go find this video and watch it because it's so sweet. I will read the caption instead of playing it. Let me actually not even play the video because 60 minutes is like brutal when it comes to copyright strike. Like, they have no chill. You show like 30 seconds of it and they're like, nope. And they don't just demonetize you. They strike your guys. They don't demonetize you. They strike your channel. Okay. So look at this. But so I'm just gonna read it. Okay. So this is Netanyahu saying, in Iran, they name streets after me. Do you know that? Well, after President Trump too, obviously, because he's leading the fight. But they have this, I don't speak Farsi, but they call me Bibi June, beloved Bibi. Guys, Iranians, look, he hears us. Goldie, he said, they called me Bibi June. He actually said the
Bibi
Farsi
June,
word.
Bibi Gol, yeah.
Bibi Gol. Yay, guys. God. Senpai Bibi saw us. He notices us. Guys, go watch this clip. It's so, I don't know. It was so wholesome. He said they call me Bibi June, which means beloved Bibi. Oh my God, I wish I could play this for you guys. Oh, I can't. Damn you, 60 minutes. Why don't you let me play this? Why? All right, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad. Okay. That is sweet, isn't it? Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that too. Okay. So here's another part of that interview. Prime Minister Netanyahu said Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says China is providing the Islamic Republic with components for missile production, but he declined to elaborate, saying, I won't say more than that. Guys, so we already heard that Russia was sending drone components to the Islamic Republic through the Caspian Sea. And in the discussion group, many people there were saying, well, of course, China is doing something similar. And they said that before we got this confirmation from Prime Minister Netanyahu. But this is obvious, right? So China, by the way, this is a big deal for Prime Minister Netanyahu to come out and say this, okay? Because Israel is not like the United States that could risk its relationship with big countries like Russia and China, okay? It needs to be careful, okay? But here, Prime Minister Netanyahu is exposing China publicly, which is a big deal. This coming from Prime Minister Netanyahu, right? So this is a major news. I mean, we already could have guessed this. However, it's good to finally have a confirmation that this is happening. No, Cyrus, when you say Israel doesn't care, it actually does care because, so for example, one reason why Israel and Ukraine sometimes don't see eye to eye is because of Israel trying to maintain some sort of a good relationship with Russia. So it does care, like it does have to manage these relationships. It cannot go full on aggressive against, big countries. Right? So here, let me see. We have this other. Oh, guys, we have a confirmation regarding the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf and their positioning against the Islamic Republic. Here's some revelation on that by Tom Cotton. So let's listen to this. This is a big deal. We already kind of knew this, but now we have confirmation.
Iran targeted these Arab countries. They didn't plead for peace. They didn't ask Donald Trump to stop. They asked Donald Trump for targeting information so they could join in the strikes in Iran. That's what a real coalition looks like. We're all now fighting together to try to finally eliminate the threat that a revolutionary Iran poses to the United States, to our Arab friends, and to Israel.
And I think the Chancellor...
Wow. Okay, but I don't know. We need to be more specific. I'm pretty sure not all of the Arab countries are responding the same way. So which Arab countries are we talking about? Are we talking UAE and Bahrain? Or are we also including Saudi Arabia secretly from behind the scenes? I'm pretty sure we're not including Qatar and Oman, and we're not including Iraq, for example. We're probably, are we including Kuwait? But let's actually listen to this again regarding the positioning of these Arab countries from behind the scenes. So, guys, this is the new coalition of United States, Israel, and UAE. And we shouldn't forget Bahrain, by the way, guys, because Bahrain is more aggressive against the Islamic Republic than, more publicly more aggressive against the Islamic Republic than even Saudi Arabia. And we don't talk about Bahrain that much, but we should be. But listen to this again.
Iran targeted these Arab countries. They didn't plead for peace. They didn't ask Donald Trump to stop. They asked Donald Trump for targeting information so they could join in the strikes in Iran. That's what a real coalition looks like. We're all now fighting together to try to finally eliminate the threat that a revolutionary Iran poses to the United States, to our Arab friends, and to Israel.
And I think the chancellor,
Iran.
Yeah, you're right. He probably cannot say. And Toro in the chat is saying, how can the Ummah recover? Yeah, it's the Ummah is over. Actually, that's a very good point. Okay, the Ummah, the delusion of the Ummah is over. It's not about the Ummah anymore. It's not about being Arab or being Muslim anymore. It's about money and military. Okay, it's about security and economic prosperity. And that's why being Arab is no longer excuse for unity, and being Muslim is not an excuse for the unity anymore either. Everybody has their own agenda. Everybody has their money to make. Everybody has their security to consider. So the Ummah, the Ummah is gone. The Ummah is gone. The Islamic world is, every segment of the Islamic world is doing its own thing, and it's not about Islam anymore. It's not about Islam anymore. It's about tourism, investments, trade routes, commerce, trade, military equipment, military strength, defense, all of that stuff. Yes. Oh, yeah, fantastic. Cyrus is saying, long live nations, down with ummahs. Exactly. Long live nations. Fantastic. Yeah, the nation state model is has survived everything, including the delusions of an ummah. That was this division between these Arab countries regarding what their agenda is, and especially, guys, you know what completely ended the idea of the ummah? The alliance between Arab Islamic countries and Israel. That was the final nail in the idea of the ummah. It ended it. It's gone. It's forever gone. Never coming back. Get over it. So just a few hours ago, Iran International posted this. I don't know what news source of information they got, or is it referring to something older? Trump. I think this is going to fold. Let me see. So they were saying Donald Trump said he was considering reviving Project Freedom to open the Strait of Hormuz. Fox News reported citing an interview with the U.S. president on Monday, adding that guiding ships through the strait would be one small part of a broader military operation against Iran. Okay. Yeah, I think we already knew this, but I don't know why this just got posted like a few hours ago by Iran International. Oh, guys, something might happen in the next few hours because of what President Trump said here. Okay. Well, I don't know, though. I don't know. I don't want to get your hopes up. But listen to this and tell me what you think.
And you'll speak not too long, because being waited on by a large group of generals. And that's also important, you know, having to do with the absolutely lovely country of Iran. That's the way they pronounce it. And you'll speak.
That's the way they pronounce it. Guys, he always says Iran, but now that he says Iran, he also says that's the way they pronounce it. So he had to cut this meeting short because he has to go and speak to generals about Iran. So, guys, military operations, major military operations coming soon is what you guys think. But also, look at this. The last part is so funny.
And you'll speak not too long, because I am being waited on by a large group of generals. And that's also important, you know, having to do with the absolutely lovely country of Iran. That's the way they pronounce it. And you'll speak not too long, because
that's the way they pronounce it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Love that. Ooh, here's another sign that something big is going to happen soon. We had this a couple of hours ago. Again, nothing is for sure, guys. Like, don't quote me on this. But these are just indications that something might happen soon. I'm not saying it will, but might. Okay, look at this. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convened a security discussion in his office in Jerusalem on Monday after U.S. President Donald Trump rejected Iran's response to his ceasefire proposal, Israeli media reported. Reports said Netanyahu's court hearing ended earlier than scheduled due to the security meeting. Guys, so when Netanyahu, when he has a court hearing, and they ended early, they have to actually, it has to be for emergency reasons. It has to be something that is urgent. Okay. So this was a couple hours ago. This suggests that something big might be happening pretty soon. Not sure, maybe. Yes, boom. Somebody's saying boom booms. Yes, boom booms. I like how we collectively have decided to call bombardments boom booms on this channel, which is yes, it's the Goldie branding. All right, so let's see. President Trump also confirming again here that he's not going to get bored of any of this. That we already heard him say it once, but let's hear it again. In a different, well, it's not the same clip, but he's saying it again. Hold on.
But they didn't do it. But it's a very simple plan. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, and they didn't want to go that far. If you can believe it, they didn't. How stupid? Are they stupid people? They didn't want to believe it. They think that, well, I'll get tired of this, or I'll get bored, or I'll have some pressure. But there's no pressure. There's no pressure at all. We're going to have a complete victory. We've already, in theory, had a complete victory from the military.
Well, we already had this.
Military, look, the Navy.
All right, we already had this. But here, guys, we need to actually get some updates regarding the blockade. Because
is demanding a gradual reopening of the Strait of Hormuz
why
in
can't
exchange
I pause
for the U.S.
All right, let me refresh this because sometimes X doesn't let me pause it. Okay, so all of this is happening. All of this is happening while the most important piece of this puzzle continues, which is the blockade. So let's not forget the blockade. The blockade is what's putting a lot of pressure on the Islamic Republic, running out of causing shortages and running out of storage for its oil. So let's get an update on that. Let's see how that's continuing to go. Because this is
demanding
let me put this full screen. This
is demanding a gradual reopening of the Strait of Hormuz in exchange for the U.S. lifting its blockade. And it says it wants a delay of any nuclear talks by at least 1 month. Joining me now is Texas Congressman Pat Fallon, a member of the House Armed Services and Intelligence Committees. He's also the chairman of the Military Personnel Subcommittee and served on the United States Air Force. Congressman, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for being here. And I always thank you for your service to our great nation. But I want to get your take on this response from Iran. No wonder President says it's totally unacceptable. They completely blow off what the president is saying, which is no nuclear weapons.
Right. They're not living within the bounds of reality, Maria. And the point is, a fact that they need to recognize in Tehran is their storage capacity for oil is running out. And if that happens, they're going to have to shut wells off. And those wells will never produce again to the capacity they are now. They may lose 70% of their capacity, which will really bankrupt their economy. So they're in a very precarious situation. The problem is the IRGC, that wing, that faction in government right now, doesn't even care if Iran is burnt to the ground as long as they can rule over the ashes. And that's an issue that's keeping us from achieving a deal.
Yeah. And, I know that the dynamic changed completely after this war with China. And the president, of course, is preparing for this high stakes summit with Xi Jinping this week. The first president to go to China since 2017, when the president went to China himself in 2017. The president will arrive in Beijing on Wednesday for a 2-day visit. And the Iran conflict is a major topic of discussion after what the president has done with regard to oil. Now, the Wall Street Journal is writing this morning this. Xi Jinping also wants the fighting to stop as Middle East turmoil restricts China's oil supply and shrinks the country's ability to buy Chinese goods.
So, guys, there's a lot of theories. People are guessing so much regarding what sort of a conversation President Trump and Xi Jinping are going to have with each other. So you could also participate in these theories in our discussion group that is happening in about 40 minutes. But I actually don't know who to believe because there's so many different views on this. And this is actually a very big deal. This is a very big deal because we know China continues to support the Islamic Republic. We know that they're having a difficulty with the current oil situation. Like they don't like the current oil prices, but they're also trying to take advantage of the chaos right now to support the Islamic Republic. So as a way to, cause some hassle for United States. There was a lot of, theories regarding whether President Trump wants to finish the job with the Islamic Republic before this meeting or no. So now we're saying like maybe not because it's happening very soon. But there's still more information regarding more evidence that things might escalate pretty soon. One of them is this new ship that we haven't talked about, the MV Ocean Trader, that is now arriving in the region. Okay, the MV Ocean Trader. This is a new, very sophisticated ship. But actually, let me show a clip about it before we read about it, because this is what they use in Venezuela against Maduro. And the fact that this is arriving is a big deal that might indicate that some important things are happening soon. Right. So we have been talking about so many different military assets. This is one that we need to also pay attention to. OK, so listen to this and then I'll read more about it.
It's just in. The U.S. Special Operations Command ship, the Ocean Trader, was just spotted near our base in Diego Garcia. The last time it came out to play, the Maduro raid. The ship hasn't even been photographed in 3 years. These things come packed with super stallions, ospreys, night stalkers, with a 50 caliber machine gun station on the upper deck and a floating command center. This could mean something's about to go down.
Yeah, so let me actually get into more detail about that. All right, let me actually give you some more information about this, because this is a ship that we might be hearing more of pretty soon, right? So new, the MV Ocean Trader, a U.S. Special Operations Command floating command center carrying special forces, has been spotted at Diego Garcia via this satellite, Sentinel-2 satellite imagery, alongside an Arleigh Burke class destroyer. I don't know if I think I pronounced that wrong. Destroyer and USNS. I don't know how to pronounce that. It typically arrives in theater ahead of covert, complex special operations, including special ground operations. The Ocean Trader was last operationally deployed off Venezuela's coast in late 2025 in the lead up to the January 3rd capture of Nicolas Maduro by U.S. Special Forces. So this is the satellite imagery that shows that it's here. And so moving away from military operations, I want to talk about the Iranian people a little bit here, specifically one of them in Germany, I think, who has been harassed by the pro-Palestinian crowd. This is a woman who has been blinded in one eye by the Islamic Republic, and she holds the Lion and Sun flag. And look how the European pro-Palestinian crowd are treating it. This is disgusting and vile, and it angered me so much. And I just want you to share it with you guys as well. Look at this. She's blind in one eye because of the Islamic Republic. And look how these pro-Palestine, so-called Palestine Europeans are treating her.
Nein, lass sie. Ben. Lass sie. Ya adam, ya adam dursun spor center. Alisha, bitte gebe. Lass sie einfach, ja.
Look, she's trying to attack her.
Guck mal, die ganze Palästinenser wollen hier.
Du Idiot, ich bin Deutscher, was laberst du? Was hast du für eine
Look, I don't know what she's saying. He has a kafia on. Look at these white Europeans are supporting terrorism, and this Middle Eastern Iranian is standing against terrorism.
Scheiße,
Idiot.
Islamic
Republic is
Look, she's pointing to her eye and saying this is what Islam does.
Islamic Republic Islamic Republic
Look, she's still trying. She's not giving up. She's still trying to attack her. She's trying to find a way in to attack her.
Deutscher mit Gehör.
Look.
Verstehst du?
Look at her. Like, why is she so vile, disgusting? Look, she has the Palestinian flag on her cheek. Look, she's not giving up. She's still trying to find a way to get in to attack her.
Islamic Republic shots me down.
Guys, what is she saying? Like, what is the Iranian woman saying? Because she's speaking German. I don't understand. Anybody could translate it in the chat?
I think she's saying Islamic Republic shot me in the eye.
Oh, okay. Here. I'm gonna play it one more time without constantly pausing, with her image on the right side.
Alisha, ich bitte dich, geh. Nein, lass sie. Ben. Lass sie. Ya adam dursun spor center. Alisha, bitte gebe. Lass sie einfach, ja. Guck mal, die ganze Palästinenser wollen hier.
Du Idiot, ich bin Deutscher, was laberst du? Was hast du für eine Scheiße, Alter?
Islamic Republic is
Oh, so she's saying Islamic Republic is terrorist. Because these people are speaking German, I thought she's speaking German as well. She's speaking English. Okay. Oh yeah, Islamic Republic shot me in the eye. Okay.
Islamic Republic shot me down. Islamic Republic shot me down.
Deutscher mit Gehör. Verstehst du?
What? Why are they against her? Like, why are they even attacking her? Like, she's not even saying anything against their delusional Palestine. Like, she's not even speaking against Palestine or anything. She's just she's holding a lion and sun flag, and she's talking about the Islamic Republic. Do these people also support, like, are they this transparent about also supporting the Islamic Republic?
Islamic Republic shots me down.
What? Like, this is so insane. Like, imagine her experience thinking that she's in Europe now, so she's gonna tell the world that the Islamic Republic shot her in the eye, and then you're getting attacked by these Europeans for saying that. Like, you're like, what the hell? Like, why are you guys against me? Like, isn't that like the most? Oh my god, that makes me so mad. Oh, it is. People in the chat are saying I'm so mad right now. Yeah, I know, right? It's infuriating. She should get arrested, isn't that? Like, guys, isn't that a crime? This is in Germany, isn't it? I don't know where it is.
But she actually did get arrested afterwards. I saw a video.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the
good.
police ended up arresting her.
Oh, good. Justice. Oh my God. Thank you, Goldie, for telling us that. Wow. But Goldie is, oh my God, that made me so angry. It was just so disgusting. Anyways.
I have some sad news that I think it's important that we also share.
Okay.
The Islamic regime executed another innocent Iranian this morning. Let me just pull it up so everyone's speaking about this, and it's horrifying. I mean, this is what they're constantly doing. So let me just pull it up on my screen. So this morning we received news that Shakur Zade, a 29-year-old Iranian freedom fighter, he was hanged by the Islamic regime. And this was his final statement. I, Shakur Zade, am 29 years old, and I am one of the so-called elites who chose not to leave the country. After months of torture and solitary confinement in a cell, I was forced to make false confessions. Do not let another innocent life disappear into silence. The terrorist Islamic Republic occupying Iran hanged Shakur Zade today because he wanted to live in a free and democratic Iran. And Armin, just to point out, I mean, how intelligent he was. Look at his LinkedIn profile. So this account, Hamid Reza writes, this is Shakur Zade's LinkedIn page. Look at the kind of person the Islamists murdered in the name of their apocalyptic ideology. A brilliant young mind with a future that should have belonged to science, innovation, and life, erased by a regime obsessed with death. What kind of world is this, where educated, talented young people are executed while fanatics sit in power? I mean, look at his LinkedIn description. I mean, I don't even understand half of what he's saying here, but it's, this is his description. I got a bachelor degree focused in electrical and electronics engineering control from the University of Tabriz, and a master's in science degree in satellite technology from Iran University of Science and Technology. Now I'm writing GSC programming with Qt C++ and use RS-485 and CAN bus to produce testing system for 3 satellites. The program can save data in database, or you can have log of data and other features we need for satellite tests provide with this program. I have experience in Qt, C++, MySQL, SQLite, C, Arduino, AVR, C++, Arduino, and robotics. So, I mean, these are the kinds of people that the barbaric 7th century savages are murdering in the name of Allah and Islam and jihad.
What a loss.
It's a huge loss. Sherry Reese says, I'm feeling my heartbreak. Yeah, it's devastating. It is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. This is why, this is why a lot of Iranians are impatient, and it's the impatience comes from this fear that every single day that passes, the Islamic regime murders more innocent Iranians. And Irfan's only crime was that he wanted to live in a free and democratic society, just like the rest of us. And the Muslim Nazis hanged him for that. They hanged him for that. Yeah.
Every day we have to go through this. Every day. This is why it's hard to tell Iranian people to be patient.
Yeah. So
We got a super chat here saying, rather than arm the whole nation, Trump should first arm and support enough real Iranians to take and hold Kharg Island. This could give people some leverage over the IRGC. Javi Shah praying from Nashville. I think Kharg Island, because it's an island, it's hard to mobilize enough Iranian people there because there's water in between. I think Bandar Abbas would make more sense because if you liberate Bandar Abbas and get enough Iranian people to liberate Bandar Abbas, you're also liberating the Strait of Hormuz. Kharg Island is so far away from Strait of Hormuz. Kharg Island is like northern part of the Persian Gulf. But the main thing that you want to free up is the Strait of Hormuz. So if you empower the Iranian people to create an Iranian army and expand their Iranian army away from Bandar Abbas, then even before you liberate Tehran, you already have liberated Bandar Abbas. But I do agree that the arming cannot just be willy-nilly, everybody here's some guns. It needs to be a certain group of people that have been vetted. I do agree with that part.
Yeah.
But it needs to be connected to the mainland. It can't be an island, in my opinion. But thank you for your support.
Yeah, thank you so much. I also wanted to share this video, Armin. So yesterday, Her Royal Highness Yasmin Pahlavi, the wife of King Reza Pahlavi, she met with mothers and families of the aggrieved. Yesterday was Mother's Day, so I'm just going to read this description here, and then we'll watch the video. The video is 5 minutes long. It's got subtitles, so you can just read along with the subtitles. Unless if you guys want Armin to just pause and read, maybe we can watch the video once, and then if people want, you can go back and read the subtitles. So the text says, mothers and families of the aggrieved in a meeting with Her Highness Yasmin Pahlavi spoke of the lives and courage of their dear ones and recounted lesser heard narratives of the crimes, oppression, and threats of the Islamic Republic. In this meeting, Her Highness Yasmin Pahlavi emphasized that no family seeking justice should be left alone, no name should be forgotten, and the narrative of the courage of Iran's children must be forever recorded in the memory and history of our land. So, here we go.
مادر بمونه بچهش بره خیلی غم سنگینیه گفت کار خوبی کردم کشتم بازم میکشم ابوالفضل 16 سالش تو آی سی پر شد گفتن ما اجازه نمیداریم که در مورد برادرمون حرف بزنیم 6 سال و 6 ماه من با عکس پشمان میخوابم با عکس پشمان بیدار میشم اگر نیکا رو یک بار کشتم منو هزاران بار کشتن آریای من پسری بود که از یه بچه 6 ساله دوست بود تا پیرزن پیرمرد 90 ساله خیلی ممنون دعوت ها قبول کردین و اینجا هستین. دلم میخواست از نزدیک داستانای فرزندان و عزیزانتون رو بشنوم. سال 78 بود توی دانشگاه سعید و متاسفانه با خودشون بردن. من 13 سالم بود. با افتخار مادر جان فدای راه آزادی پژمان قلی‌پور هستم. من با افتخار مادر جاویدم نوید بهبودی هستم. نوید 23 ساله تو آبان 98 کشته شد. ابوالفضل 17 سالش بود با بیشتر از 100 گلوله ساچمه‌ای از فاصله کمتر از 1 متر کشته شد. جوان 18 ساله‌ای که با 5 تا گلوله کشته شد. آریا تیر خورده، شکم نیکای ما رو پاره کردن یا فرزند کسی وجه مشترکی با هم دیگه داریم. اتفاقات 18 و 19 دیما دقیقاً ما رو برگردون به 25 و 26 آبان 98. ابوالفضل آگاه بود به اینکه چه مسیری رو انتخاب کرده. گفت من نمیتونم تحمل کنم. روز 16 مهر بعد از اینکه بابا دم در مدرسه پیاده کرد، به جای اینکه وارد مدرسه بشه راهشو کج کرد و رفت سمت اعتراضات. 7:30 صحبت کردیم. 10 دقیقه بعدش بچه منو کشت. نرسید به اون 1 ربع که بیاد. زنگ زد. مامان خونه‌ای؟ گفتم آره. گفت من میام خونه. هنوز نوید من برنگشته. صدایی که بچه‌ها داشتن فرار می‌کردن و من شنیدم. همون لحظه گوشی قطع شد، گوشی نیکا و دیگه تموم. بچه‌م رفت سر کار. ساعت 7 بهم زنگ زد. مامان کجایی؟ ما میام خانه اونجا میرفتی تو خونه درمان میکرد.
بهم زنگ زدن گفتن که بیا ابوالفضل رو زدن.
گفتم اتفاق افتاده، نخوان نگران نباشید، بچه تو کشتن. و مادر میگه نگران نباشید. رفتم اورژانس دیدم تیر خورده ها روحام افتادم، یعنی پر.
آمبولانس میومد، آمبولانس میرفت، زخمی ها رو خالی میکردن.
همشون رو دونه دونه بغل کردم، صدا کردم نوید کجایی، نوید کجایی. هیچ کدوم نوید من نبودن. نوید من بیمارستان نرسیده بود، تموم کرده بود تو خیابون با تیر جنگی تو سرش زده. دخترتون از پل پرت شده. گفتم من مادر نمیتونم قبول بکنم، بچه مچه‌ها میتونه ارتفاع بیفته، فقط سرش چشمش آسیب ببینه.
خیلی افراد اومدن وسط که شما دنبال نیکا نگرد، نیکا رو سپاه گرفته، چند روز دیگه آزادش میکنن. من مثل مادر پدرای دیگه روزی که به بچه‌م شلیک کردن بچه‌مو از دست ندادم. همه پرستارا به من گفتن که بچت نمیفهمه، تا روزی که بهش گفتم یه پلک بزن واسه مامان، یه پلک خوشگل، که از پرستارا دید و داد میزد که به مادرش واکنش داره. و وقتی که من تونستم ابوالفضل رو رسانه‌ای کنم توی بغل خودم جون داد.
زمانی که این اتفاق برای خانواده من افتاد خیلی همه چی تابو بود. ما میترسیدیم بگیم که داداشمون رو بردن. خیلی از خانواده های نزدیکمون ما رو تنها گذاشتن. هم بچه‌مون رو کشتن، هم پیکر بیجونش از همون دور کردن. خیلی اومدن برای هفتم، بر ما رو نذاشتن بیای.
جنازه رو دزدیده بودن، اجازه رو به من ندادن که من بتونم یک بغل بکنم نیکا رو.
وقتی که میگین اینطوری باهاتون رفتار کرده اصلا باور نکردنیه که این یه ایرانیه، یه پدره، یه برادره، یه پسر یکی بوده یه روزی. اینا انسانن، اینا چی هن؟ اصلا این آدم ها کی هن؟ حقیقت هم اینجا پنهان نمیمونه. عدالت بالاخره حتی بعد از عدالت فکر نمی کنم هیچ وقت کنار باهاش نیومدیم، ولی یاد گرفتیم که چجوری باهاش زندگی بکنیم. مادران نبودن واقعا آبان ناپدید میشد.
با خانوادم عهد بستیم راهش رو ادامه میدیم و نمیذاریم که خونش پایمال بشه.
یه مسئولیتی داریم که هیچ وقت فراموششون نکنیم، روایتشون و داستاناشون تو تاریخ ثبت بشه. واقعا یه وظیفه ملیه. این جوونا جونشون رو فدای ایران رو آزادی کردن.
Wow.
And, Armin, yesterday there was a global rally, and Iranians from around, the Iranian diaspora around the world went to various rallies, participated in rallies all around the world to, continue being a voice for the Iranian people. And, you can see all of those if you go to Reza Pahlavi's official comms page. You can see footage. So here's Australia, for example. Well, I don't want to copyright strike it. So this is in Sydney, Australia. This is Frankfurt. The audio again. So here, this is Frankfurt. They're naming the people who've been murdered. This was in Tokyo. So there was also demonstrations in Copenhagen. So this is Copenhagen here. There's also Lisbon in Portugal and Toronto. So I attended the demonstration in Toronto yesterday. I was there. And then there's Madrid. What's going on here? Sorry. So Madrid, Stockholm. Stockholm always has a really big one. Stockholm is always big. And then there was Cologne, Paris, Hanover. I also saw, I think I saw Thailand or Taiwan. This is Boulogne. Paris, wait. Birmingham, Amsterdam, Bologna, we already said, Berlin, Gutenberg, and then Bangkok. Look, so this is a new one. This was in these were Iran. This is the one I wanted to share with you. So in the global day of for the global rally, Iranians in Bangkok in Thailand also came out to demonstrate. Oh, well, I can't play the music, but yeah. So even in Thailand, the Iranians had a demonstration and a rally. So this is, guys, this is international. This is international, and it's up to every single one of us Iranians in the diaspora to continue being a voice and to continue raising awareness.
Good evening, Goldie. We're very glad to have you here in our show. How are you? How are you doing?
Goldie, before we go, I have something to share before I go. Sorry, that I think you're gonna appreciate.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, a video just randomly went off on my computer, so I had to just like mute myself to figure out where it was coming from. No, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we have this new channel, Voices of Iran in English, where somebody, one of our sketch therapy in our live chat, has now tokened videos of Murad Vaisi and Princess of Pahlavi and has put, look at, here, this one, and Voices of Iran in English, and he has translated them to English with their own voice in English. So, for example, if you click on Murad Vaisi, here.
In the future, we are going to witness a much more widespread and significant crisis regarding the gasoline supply and distribution issues at gas stations everywhere. We'll be seeing much longer lines.
That's so trippy. That's so trippy to hear him speaking in English like that, because that's his voice.
Yeah, that's his voice translated from his videos. So it's Voices of Iran in English. And then we have like speeches from Princess of Pahlavi, the Persian ones. Like it's in his voice, but in English.
This regime, however long.
So the original this was Persian, but it's like
there is no way back for us.
For decades, several.
So all of this was in Persian, but what is now in English. So I'm gonna put that. Is that okay if I put that in the chat?
Yeah. Who's behind the channel?
So sketch therapy, but this channel is here. Well done. Voices of Iran in English. So that's his ID name for that channel. So, and I could send it to you as well in case sometimes you want to play something.
I just subscribed.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So now you could, sometimes you put Murad Vaisi, and it's in Persian and people have to read the subtitles. Now you don't have to.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I wonder how accurate the translations are.
Yes, he's actually been getting help from Iranians to help him make sure that it's correct. But you could also take a look and see what you think, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'd have to. Well, like, I mean, I wouldn't know because I would have to like watch the Iranian version and then compare sentence by sentence to the English version, and I don't have time for that. But
well, the good thing is with the Pahlavi ones, you have the English translations by them at the bottom.
Yeah, that's
true. So you
true.
could just compare it. You just compare it with the subtitles to see how much it matches the subtitles that they already provided. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. Also, is it okay if I tell people about our discussion group now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, guys, in about 12 minutes. I'm going to go to our discussion group, and now you could watch it here on the channel. So while I'm discussing with our discussion group, you could also watch it on YouTube. So I'm going to put a link to that in the chat. And also, if you want to come to the discussion group, there is a QR code there that you could scan that will take you to the discussion group. So you could come into the discussion group to talk to us, or you could go to Liberty Politics YouTube channel to watch us talk in the discussion group. And again, one more time, I'll put the link and also the link to the discussion group will be in the live YouTube live streaming of the group discussion. The link will be in the description of the live stream as well. All right, so that will start in about 10 minutes. So QR code in the top right to go to the discussion group, and the link in the chat to come to Liberty Politics and watch our discussion live. Yeah.
And so, guys, just to let you know, we are doing a little bit of a schedule change because, for the last 134 days, we've been live streaming like 8, 9, sometimes 10 hours a day. And it's simply, unmaintainable. So starting from today, we've changed the schedule for Iran Revolution Live. We're still going to go live every day, but we're only going live from 1 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern. So just those 2 hours. And then, of course, Armin's doing his discussion group afterwards. And then I'm going to resume the Goldie Show, which I haven't done in like the last over 4 months. So I'm going to continue with sort of my evening live streams where I do my own show as well on politics and, some documentary watch parties here and there. So this makes it a little bit more manageable for the both of us because, we do have to also make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and managing our lives again as well. But guys, don't worry. When things ramp up, once again, don't worry. We will, we will increase the live streaming as well. But so this is sort of how we're going to run it for a little bit. But for those of you who are subscribed to my channel, don't worry. I'm going to be doing another live stream later tonight, so you'll see that notification in a little bit. So
Goldie, this is perfect because first you could from 1 to 3 you watch Iran Revolution Live with Goldie and I, and then if you want to continue, you could come to Liberty Politics YouTube channel and watch the live of our discussion. And so right now, as this ends, that starts, and then when that finishes, then you go back to Goldie, and Goldie will have her nightly show. So basically, there you go. So yeah, there you go. You could it's basically the same amount of hours. You just switch around a little bit. Yeah. Exactly.
Right. So there you go. But so guys, thanks everyone for joining for Iran Revolution Live day 135. And we'll see you guys. Well, we'll see you guys later today, but we'll see you guys tomorrow for day 136 of Iran Revolution Live.
Yes, and let me actually remove the widget. Oh, should we quickly read some of the super chats really quickly before we go?
Yes, we should read the super chats before we finish.
Okay. So we have Sherry saying, I am feeling my heartbreak. Oh, you're so sweet, Sherry. Thank you for being here with us. And thank you for your support. And Bliv is saying rather than I already read that one. And Saber coaching is saying there's a follow-up video of the girl missing a tooth while being taken away. The police strike her hard. Oh, really? I didn't see that. Love you both, Javid Shah. RIP are fun. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for your support. Sherry is saying, come join. Sherry is in the discussion group, guys. Come join the discussion group. Or watch it on Liberty Politics Live. And then thank you, Sherry. And then William saying, glad for this change. You two need your rest. Well, thank you, William. Thank you so much.
Although the thing is, we're not actually resting. We're not actually resting. Like Armin's going straight to the next live stream. And I'm actually going to be working on some videos because I haven't even had time to make and upload videos in a very long time. So not really resting. It's just shifting things around a little bit.
Things around. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. There you go.
But thank you either. Yeah. And then Sherry in another super saying, thank you for all you do. Glad to hear that you are taking care of yourselves and doing so much for us. Well, thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Yes, we're taking care of our other projects as well that have been left behind because of all the crazy stuff. But we will be back again to covering everything minute by minute once everything goes boom boom again. Right?
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So Guys, I'm Israel Chai. Long live America.
God bless America.
جاوید شاه پاینده ایران.
غرق انقلاب است.
کشور ما، تاریخ ما درسی دگر فرا گرفته، گویی اهورا مستا دوباره در نور خود مرا گرفته. اکنون سرودی سر میدهم باز فارغ از رنج و تشویش، ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. هن ای پدر، هن ای پسر، برخیز و با ما شو همگام، تا درد آن تجربه تلخ ما را نکشیده در خواب. بگذار هر دم بغرند گرگ‌ها دم لباس میش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ای کارگر، ای برزگر، راحت کنون ادامه دارد در این زمان که پرتو یزدان از هر سو بر تو میبارد. پس پیش به سوی آزادی از بحر خزر تا کیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. خلقا به پا، بهر دفاع از استقلال و آزادی، تا بشکنیم پشت ارتجاع تیریزی ویران آبادی. تا زنده سازیم سنت‌های می از من بالین و کیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش.
با امید روزی که تمام این دلبشو و انقلاب تموم بشه و ما در روشنایی، نور و سعادت مردم کشورمون غرق بشیم.
نه خارجی، نه بیگانه، نه مستشارهای ویرانی، نه کیر خاران، نه کاسه لیسان، فقط هم رزمان ایرانی. ما با شرافت میهنی بسازیم بهر فرزندان خویش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. مردان بیایید داخل صف ما، اکنون که آغاز رویاست. دشمنان بدانید ما زنده هستیم، بعد از ما هم ایران پابرجاست. آن روح شیطان ما را فریب داد با صد شعار مردمیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. پرچم ما، پرچم ایران غرق خون شهیدان، روی شانه هامان حمل میکنیمش در هر خیابان و میدان. تا ماسک دلغکان را برداریم از روی تسبیح و ریش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. عشق و ایمان من، تو ای زادگاه نیاکان من، تو ای مهد آزاد مردان من. به خاک تو بود از دیوار برابر حقوق سپید و سیاه، یه دوران کوروش در این بوم و بر شده پای ریزی حقوق بشر. زهر تیر با قوم و کیش و نژاد بود بینشان رشته اتحاد. شو ایران نباشد تن من نباد، بدین بوم و بر زنده یک برنهاد. جهان آفرین تا جهان آفرین، نیاورد جز مهر و نیکی پدید. بداندیشی و کینه و دشمنی، بود خوی و کردار اهریمنی. زمیندار گفتار و کردار نیک، همیشه پدید آید آزارگی. چو ایران ما مهد زیبایی است، بدین سرزمین اهورایی است. دلم می‌کند هر دم آهنگ تو، که ننگ است ماتم به فرهنگ تو. شو ایران نباشد تن من نباد، بدین بوم و بر زنده یک برنهاد. چنین ملت پاک و گردن فراز، به یک جنبش تازه بودش نیاز. بشد انجمن